So this is a chip. I love this phone. I wouldn't be able to see this with my own eyes. It looks like it's got 3 legs on one side and 2 on the other, so kind of a regulator device. I think everything else is fine. That's the USB port. So let's find an LTH7. Alright, so the kid blew this thing up by, I believe, keeping it plugged in while playing it. And there's a chip on the board. It's actually just a 5-pin chip. It's a lithium-ion battery charging chip, specifically a lithium-ion battery charging chip. Let's see if we can actually see it. This is like basically what's left of it once I've removed it. Where did it go? And I was able to like pull up the part number of what it actually is. It's an LTH something or other, I forget. Anyway, I think it's pretty commonly used in devices. Anyway, so it cannot handle being used. So if you sit here and you play this game with this thing plugged in all the time, it's drawing through the battery and the USB at the same time. Eventually, it's going to cause the chip to fail. So, I would say that it's kind of an issue of just kind of how they're designed. This is the one that I was talking about earlier that has the battery. This actual battery has no marking on it. The other one that we returned. So the other one, the keypad wore out. It was getting stuck here. And he actually had that one for a little while, maybe a couple weeks. But I called Amazon, and it was later in the evening, so I got a representative from the UK, and she was really nice. And I noticed that when you get certain regions on Amazon, when you call certain regions, they're just absolutely like gatekeeping pricks. If you get somebody on the phone, usually, I believe I've called in so many times now, like I should consider myself a power user. Anyway, when you get somebody that's like in China or Indonesia, they seem to like just want to stick it to you and not help you. If you get somebody in the UK or Australia or Africa or South America, they seem to really be nice and try and help you usually. Not always. And I don't really recall ever getting anybody in the United States answering the phone. But I've definitely had some British accented people and some African people, and I've even had people ask me where I was at, and then they would tell me where they were at, and just really, really cool people sometimes on the phone with Amazon. You just never know. But usually, if they sound like they're Asian or Chinese, they're just like ridiculous. I've had them actually become very combative and argumentative with me on the phone, and I really, really, really wish that Amazon would stop using Chinese people to answer the phone, because to Americans, they must obviously hate us, because they sure act like it when you have to deal with them on the phone. But anyway, I digress. I'm not going to keep going on and on about it. So this thing actually doesn't really fit well the way they designed it. The spring kind of, I don't know, it's supposed to be in there a little further or what, but like I really couldn't get it to work well. The problem with this design is it's really hard to pull the battery out. But I removed his chip on here, and it works. But you'll have to pull the battery out, and you'll have to charge it. So what I'll probably do is just give him like a really large 18650. But the lady anyway refunded because it was smoked and it smells and something burning. So she just said refund, don't send it back, just go ahead and toss it, do whatever, but not safe to return. So now when you call them, you need to tell them that it's something with the lithium-ion battery and you smell something burning, and that you're not sure that it's safe to return. And if you don't mention that, they'll just tell you to return it. If you do mention that, you'll save yourself the hassle of having to return it. Specifically, this one was going to be a real pain, because normally here in the United States, almost everything is handled by Kohl's, which is really easy to use. And if it's not Kohl's, then it's the UPS store, which is a huge pain in the butt. And in the past, the UPS store has actually tried to charge customers money to do free Amazon returns. What I found now is, so their trick is, if they have to print the label or something like that, or then they're going to charge you. If you can show them the QR code, then it's supposed to be free. But so when I processed the return on this, it wanted me to take it to the UPS store, which has really short hours compared to Kohl's, and they're just a pain in the butt. They're usually busy. They're usually upset that they have to deal with an Amazon return again. It's just an unpleasant experience using UPS. So when I get a return and it won't give me the option, a Kohl's drop off, I call up, and usually they have a way of doing it. So this time, they saved me the trouble of having to deal with the UPS store, and having to even deal with this thing in the first place. And then I'm now able to repair it, but unfortunately you can't leave these things plugged in while you're playing them. So this one now I don't know what it will do on USB with the chip gone. Maybe I should check it out and see. Okay, so plugged in, doesn't do anything. It also cannot power itself. But anyway, I think maybe this coil needs to be put back in a little further. I don't know. So we're gonna pull the battery out of the other one. See how it sits flush in here? So basically, you can't even get the damn thing out. You're trying to pull it out. It doesn't really want to smack out. You see here they have the coil coming in there and the funny angle too in this one. This one doesn't have any writing on it either, but the other one definitely said 800. They're just too light. So this one here, I'm curious, since it's not burned up, I'm wondering what it does. Plugged in and then on. I wonder if it actually will power directly through the USB. So it looks like it will not. So basically, he was sitting there overcharging this thing. If they would have designed this a little bit better, it would have been really easy to swap the batteries in and out. I suppose I could probably modify it. But these are, the kids love them. I mean, they really do. It's just a bummer they're not made like at least a little bit better. I mean, I would, if they were made better, I'd be willing to even pay like double the price for them. But they're just not. And when I opened it up the other day, I looked inside of it and you could see the main chip, and they've laser removed the name off the chip. I don't know if any of you guys know why that would be, but there's a Samsung memory chip in it though. But yeah, they've removed the name on the back of the chip so that you can't tell what it is. So I don't know what the heck the reason would be for that. But anyway, so this one here, it can still be used. It's just that, you know, these have to go into a charger like this. This is a charger that I reviewed on the channel before. This company makes a lot of different ones. But what I like about it is it goes in here, and then it will, like, based on the voltage that it detects, it'll tell you the voltage. So this one's at 4.2 volts. It's going to try and force it to charge. It's not a smart charger. It just basically, I mean, it's a slow manual charger. But, you know, you can tell, if you know kind of an idea of like what's left in the battery, or you can use the voltage to determine the capacity of the battery, and then you can watch and see how many milliamps go into the battery. Then you can kind of figure out what the battery's capacity is by doing that. It also says here, it shows what it's charging at. If you use all 4 slots, yeah, you'll reduce the amount of charging per battery. I don't remember how that works. They have different ones of these. This one here I chose to get because it has a standard round type of plug. The other XTAR one is very similar, but uses a USB over there. This is still a USB cord. It still goes to a charger, but I just felt like I prefer the barrel connector, because if it breaks inside of here, I have an easier chance of repairing it. So anyway, I decided to make a video and show you guys about that, and I'm gonna try and get some other stuff done. We got, looks like bad weather coming, lightning and things like that, so probably not too much radio going on. It's still pretty hot and nasty, so I want to get out and do some portable work and stuff, but just not really wanting to do it when it's 102 degrees. Anyway, we'll catch you guys later.